And here you want to have simply x equals to something. So how are we going to do that? Basically, we're going to have all the x's together. So first of all, we want to maybe expand those terms, and that's what we're going to do first. You have 2 times 3x, which is like 6x, and then you have 2 times 1, which is like 2, plus you have like 3 times 5x, which is 15x, and then you have 3 times 2, which is 6. So x minus 1, and this expression is already simplified, so we don't have to, or expanded, so we don't have to sort of like expand it. What we're going to now do is, we no longer have factors in here. We only have a summation, a sum of terms, and some of them have x, such as 6x and 15x and x, and some of them don't have x, and we want to have all the x's together. And basically, it's going to be, okay, 6 plus 15x is basically 21, 21x. And then you have 2 plus 6, which is 8, is positive 8, positive 2 and positive 6 is positive 8. We're going to go to the other side, which is going to be negative 8. And therefore, we're going to have, on the other side, we're going to have negative 8. Negative 1. Negative 1 was already there. We're just sort of like acknowledging that it was already there. And we're going to have this x come over here where it's positive x. Now it's going to be negative x. So it's going to be negative x. So here we're pretty much done with the problem, We basically are trying to solve for x. And we've brought all the x's on one side. And we've brought all the other terms on the other side. So all we have to do now is just simplify, such that we have x equals to something. And that's very simple. So 21x minus x equals 20x. And here we have minus 8 minus 1, which is minus 9. And now we want to solve for x. So basically, we want to make sure that it's x equals to whatever is the other value. And so we're going to divide both sides by 20, obviously, because this is 20 times x. So if I wanted to know the value of x, whatever is 20 times x, I divide it by 20, so I find the value of x. So I'm dividing both sides by 20, because if I'm dividing something, I have to do it on the other side as well. I'm also dividing by 20, because otherwise it would not be the same. Let's say I have like 4 plus 1 equals to 5, and let's say I multiply this, dividing by something and multiplying by something is basically the same thing. Well, let's say I divide it by 2 or something. I'd have here 2.5. And let's say I don't divide by 2. Let's say I don't do it for the other side. Then you no longer have an equation. They're no longer equal to each other. You would have 2.5 is equal to 5. And which is not true, obviously, right? So if I'm dividing one side by a number of the equation, I have to divide the other side of the equation by the same number, so that it remains an equation, It's like one tip of the balance, if I'm adding one stone on here and they're perfectly balanced, obviously they're not going to be equal to each other. I have to add the same thing to both sides. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do divide by 2, I get 2.5, and I also divide by 2 on the other side, therefore I also get 2.5, and you still have an equation, and you're justified in writing the equal side. So this is what's going on here. Basically, you have basically on here you have 20x is equal to minus 9, and you want to have x, so you're going to divide it by 20 because it's 20x. So you want to divide all this huge sum by 20 so that you get only x, and then you want to divide the other side by 20 also, because otherwise it's not an equation, so you want to do it for both sides. and therefore you get minus 9 equals to 9 over 20. And that's basically the answer. That's basically the answer. That's basically the answer. So solving for x, you know, you have an expression is equal to another expression, therefore you have an equation, and you want to solve for x. So you want to have, first of all, you want to expand it so it's like simpler, you know, and then you want to simplify in such a way that you only have x's on this side and you only have regular numbers on the other side, and which is basically where we are here. And obviously you want to simplify it, so therefore you have 20x equals to minus 9, and then you divide both sides by 20, so you want to get rid of this 20, so you divide by 20, but you also do it for the other side, therefore you get 9 over 20, or 9 divided by 20 is equal to x. So I think during the end the camera angle was sort of like weird, but it was basically something like we had like 20x, it was 20x equals to minus 9, and what we did is we divided both sides by 20, so you know, we sort of did this, you know, divided by 20, you know, divided by 20, and we got and then basically we got this answer, which is like x equals minus 9 over 20. I think the video got cut off somehow, so I'm just sort of like making it sort of clear. We went from here to here, and I think like the previous steps were sort of like obvious, and that's basically it. That's how you solve an equation, you know? You want to have x on one side, and then you want to have the other numbers on the other side, you know? And by the way, like, it doesn't have to be like one variable. You could actually solve for something where you have other variables. But if you're asking specifically for x, anything else has to be on the other side, you know? And if you have 20x times everything else, you want to divide that side by 20 so that you end up with x. And then obviously if you do it for this side, you have to do it for the other side, you know, so that it's still an equation. Then you're gonna have like x is equal to something, which is the value of x, you know? And that's basically it. Yeah, that was a bit redundant. I hope that was clear. Thanks for watching. Good luck doing the exercises, and yeah, that's it.